I am Dr. Chevy, and welcome to ABCShrink Productions. I am here with my giggly son, Jonah, who is 13 years old, and he's joining us because this is a special edition of Reopen Schools. The special edition is about reopen schools, keep schools open, and the episode is about special education. So here we are, and so glad to have you joining us. This is Generation Quarantine podcast, and are we okay, guys? If my son keeps laughing, tell him just to keep looking at the camera.
It's totally cool. Totally cool.
Okay, we're live. Okay, those of you that are just joining us now, we are live, and we are broadcasting live on Facebook. And as we continue, I said that we are broadcasting from the series Generation Quarantine. And I will, without continuing on and telling you more about that, you can see that on other podcasts. I want to, first of all, say, Buenos dias, Los Angeles, Ilana Weinstein. Please do not.
Hey, Dr. Chevy, how are you? How is it going?
It's going great. Hey, well, buenos dias to Kevin. Kevin in Chino, California. Buenos dias. And buenos noche to Angela, who is in Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
And Angela, can you introduce who you're with?
This is my daughter, Gabby.
Hey, Gabby.
Gabby is, how old are you? 8. And in what grade are you in?
Second.
I know these answers. I'm just making sure you do.
So Angela, FYI, every
Yep.
time you turn towards Gabby, you go off into your virtual and we don't see you. We only see Gabby. So you have to keep looking at the screen, but can keep seeing
Okay.
you. Okay, guys, we're here. And we're so grateful for this special education broadcast. It's such a very, very important broadcast. It may be, those of you that are watching, it may be the most important broadcast that we
You
do.
want to stay or go?
And one of the reasons why it's the most important broadcast is not only has USA forgotten about the children, not only have they neglected the children, not only have they thrown them under the bus, not only have the politicians thrown them under the bus, has the school boards, have the local politicians, I don't care if you go, Nat, Kevin, I'm sure you have a lot to say about this, but these kids, these amazing kids have been robbed. And my child, this teenager here, has been robbed, totally robbed of his, like almost 2 years of education at this point. And so whether or not a child is starting first grade or whether or not they're starting middle school, this is really, really a lousy time. Please keep looking up at that. So I'm going to keep telling my middle schooler to look up the camera because that's what he has to do all day in Zoom. His teachers say, what? I can't see your face, blah, blah, blah. They're so sick of looking at the camera in Zoom. And I understand that completely. So here we are in this very special, very important podcast. We were all brought together by an amazing woman, young girl. She just turned a woman this year, her name is Melanie. And Melanie started Reopen Schools USA. So Melanie, you're amazing because as you could see on this show, we have from Massachusetts, broadcasting right now from Florida, Jonah and I, where we're on vacation, to Los Angeles and to Chino. We have come together. And so we really thank you. We're grateful for you. We know you were inspired by tragedies. And so we honor and absolutely from the bottom of our hearts, we honor you and hope that this is a healing experience for you and all your loved ones and anyone else that has gone through hardship or a significant loss. We are so sorry. And that's why I said this is probably the most important podcast that we will actually be doing. Thank you, Kevin, for inspiring it, who is an absolute amazing advocate for special education. So I want to just say one more introduction to the co-producer, Ilana Weinstein. Hi, Ilana, again.
Hi, Dr. Chevy. Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you all for being here. So now we're going to continue on, and I'm going to introduce our special guest. I just introduced Kevin from Chino, California. Kevin, thank you for being here. Do you want to jump in, as long as we still have some of the kids' attention? Would you want to just do the elevator pitch introduction to We Support Reopen Special Education, We Support Reopen Schools that Jonathan started with you and you're very active in it. Can you just do a quick elevator pitch on that? And then maybe introduce the two kids that we have here, and maybe if you want to interview them at all briefly, and they may or may not stay for the whole show. And then we're going to move over to Angela. And this show, those of you who are watching, it's going to be a shorter podcast. It'll probably just be about another 25 minutes. So we hope you really stay and honor all of the kids with special education. Those of you that need information, you're going to really learn a lot today. So we're so glad you're here. Okay, Kevin, please take it away. We'd love to hear your pitch, elevator pitch about what it is you're doing. And we're going to circle back to you and hear so much of your voice.
Sounds great. So we have two big passions right now that I have. It's basically reopening schools. And so I started my reopening schools of trying to reopen the special education in my school district, and now trying to further that and try to open all special education for all of California. And actually, we're trying to reach out to other states also and really help out with getting special education open, because the kids need to be in school for their services, their supports, for their IEP, for FAPE, which is basically a fair and appropriate education. They all need a true education. And as you're going to hear, like parents who have to be at home with their awesome regular kids, and then the neurotypical kids, are, it's even harder when you have a neurotypical kid, because you really have to sit right next to them and make sure that they're getting that education, that they're focused, they're doing the work. But even my regular kids, right, totally had the same problems, right? So it's an issue for both sides, but really, really my focus right now is on special education. And so we formed a big giant group of many parents, and there's been a lawsuits, sadly, that had to be put into place in California to actually get schools open.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you for that pitch. Okay, I'm gonna give you the privilege of introducing Jonah.
So Jonah, how much are you enjoying the online experience?
I like it, super fun, because like I learn okay. I get
Talk a little louder, Jonah.
I get the recommended grades that I'm supposed to get, but not the best. But it's fun because I can go on a call with my friends, and it's not oh, if I say something I'm gonna have to get sent to the principal's office. On lunch, I'm allowed to do my own thing with my friends.
A little louder.
I'm allowed to do my own things.
Look at the
lunch.
camera, please.
If I want to talk to my friends, on the phone during lunch, I can do that, and I don't have coaches just stalking me like I'm about to do anything bad, or I'm gonna have to be sent to the office for talking to my friends. But if I'm online, I can talk to my friends, and my teacher and the coaches aren't there to stalk me and say oh, what did you just say? I'll go to the principal's office.
Okay, so I want to point out that Jonah has an IEP, and Jonah has been, many kids are finding there's something liberating about being on Zoom. So they may or may not, especially the teens, because like he said, there's so much freedom. They get to wear their pajamas. Jonah normally goes to school where he wears a uniform, and where he can't leave and go to the bathroom when he wants, and all these other things. So he has actually really formed a fun connection. They also have Discord right at their fingertips, and they tell you have to have Discord, Mom. We have to have Discord, because we chat in between. It's not just about games. So the older kids are actually, in some ways, they're finding a safety behind this wall. So I think what we're hearing is whether or not it's the best education, there's some comfort. Now, in special education, I have noticed with Jonah more of a detachment from his counselors in the special education
Can I say
time. Yeah, jump in and look up at the camera, please.
So for I have multiple counselors. I have one for math and English, and then I have the school counselor. The math and the English one, that's where I've gone down, but in the
what do you mean by gone down?
That's harder for me to do the online special education part, for the math and the English counselor lady. But then for the math one, for the counselor that helps me with just regular things, not work,
Like personal.
yeah, personal things. I like that online better because like we can talk and like it's like and like we can just talk and like I can choose what we get to do. Or like whereas like when we were in school, we were in this super cold small room and like we had to do these like assignments and it wasn't really like didn't feel like it was personal. We were just writing like these stupid things that said, oh, here's how you can deal with problems. Like it's the same thing every single year. Like I think I've known by now. Online, I can just talk and like
All right.
talk about different things that's going on.
So I want to point something out too, since I know Jonah and Jonah's experience. He's had an IEP since first grade, since an IEP, those of you that are just joining us, it's an individualized educational plan. And that means he gets some special services. You have to fight for this. Not easy to get it. That's a whole nother show, but that's not about reopen. That's just about how hard it is to get specialized plans. But what I want to say is, what I do notice with Jonah is that there needs a lot of improvement in terms of IEPs. We're grateful that we have IEP. Please keep, like your teacher says, I'm going to keep you looking up, okay? We are grateful that he's on it, but the other situation is that that Jonah had more of a connection with in-person counselors by far. Even at the beginning, he had more of a connection with his current IEP counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And since being on Zoom, he's gone through, not feeling so connected to her, but he likes it because he kind of can call the shots
No,
more.
but now I like it a lot. Like I look forward to Thursdays when I get to see her.
Okay, great. So now he likes it more, and I didn't know that because kids go through complaints about different parents and counselors and teachers, so that's normal. So that's interesting information that he's telling us is from a teen perspective, how it's been. Kevin, do you want to introduce any of Angela's kids? Or say hi, or introduce Angela.
Angela, would you like to
I brought-
introduce your lovely daughter?
Oh, sure. What's your name?
Allie Thomas,
And how old are you?
5,
Yep. And what grade are you in?
kindergarten,
Yep. What's your school?
Fallbrook.
So Allie is also on an IEP and she is on the spectrum. She's very high functioning. And we've gone through a lot of hard work this year. When we first started with the pandemic, she could not sit at all on a computer. And, she's gotten a lot better about actually sitting and paying attention, knowing how to get in and out of her Google Meets. She'll tell you exactly who is in her meets. Now we're starting, we're going to be going back to school next week. Are you excited about going back to school? Yeah. What do you like to do most at school?
Sterling Gym.
Oh, right. So Sterling Gym, we had the opportunity to, I'm just going to talk for a minute. Sit up. We sent the kids to pod learning because Leominster was remote for most of the year. So it was incredibly hard for us to be able to juggle working and having the kids home. So Sterling Gym is where they take gymnastics. So they set up a pod and the kids were able to attend there 3 days a week. And then when actually it was like 5 days a week. And then when they started going back hybrid, we were able to send them there 3 days a week and then going into school 2 days a week. So next week will be the 5 days a week going back. So we're happy about that. So
Very good. I have a question for you, Angela.
Sure.
As we spoke a little bit before we went live, I asked you a few questions and you described your daughter and she's lovely. And
Thank you.
It's not easy for you, to have this and go through this. A lot of people go through this as well. So that's why we're here. But for you, as far as the special education, what is your interest in the education? Like why are you so involved in this? Because, for you, or what are you discovering?
I mean, I think it's definitely opening my eyes to, not only, it's nice to bond with other parents. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
And we lost the
Coming.
sound.
Sorry, no, I did it on purpose because I'm trying to kick them out.
Welcome back. Okay.
Really?
They have a short shelf life, so
Definitely.
it's, yeah. So I actually just recently, over the past couple months, I actually took over the role of the CPAC chair for Leominster. I was
Angela,
approached.
For those people,
What's that?
for people that are watching this and don't understand special education, could you actually, and Kevin too, will you guys explain the letters when you say something?
Sure. So the CPAC, and I don't know how it is, and I assume it's like this across the
Well,
country.
Jonah knows what it is. Jonah will tell us what it stands for. What does it stand for?
Well, I think, well, we have this thing called SBAC. I don't know about the CPAC, but we have this thing called SBAC, and like
Yeah.
we do it at the end of the year, like starting 3rd grade. It's like a really big test. It's not part of our grade at all. It's just like a super like the teachers want us to do good on it because it's like for the government, and like it shows the teacher like how good like they've been teaching us and stuff.
So what I actually am part of, it's called the Special Education Parent Advisory Council. So it's actually a group of parents that can get together, and it's like a club, and we can, toss around ideas. And the whole point of our group is to provide resources for families. So my goal and what I've been really trying to do is coordinate with a lot of members of a lot of family members, not only in the special ed community, but also other parents in the school system, because I think everybody's struggling right now. Just to be able to provide resources, whether it be activities that kids can do. Like I've been posting, I actually just sent out a calendar of events from all sorts of different organizations for parents to be able to utilize, for whether it be workshops, support groups, and we're here as a resource for families. So.
Angela, on this show, since it's your first one, besides the other one where we're kind of maneuvering a little bit, because especially because we have kids on it, sometimes we'll jump over if we have a kid for a minute.
That's fine.
Okay, so do you want to actually, since Kevin introduced you want to kind of just jump on over, and if someone can just say hi to Kevin and see who he's got there.
Who do you have, Kevin?
Oh,
Who
and we
is
can't
that?
see her. She just came out of the picture.
Oh.
So how do the virtuals hide our kids sometimes?
It's wonderful. And
I don't know
this is why I
why.
have to take the backgrounds down.
Perfect. She's there now. Oh no, her head's gone. Her head's
Yeah.
gone. Hi,
Yeah.
what's your name? Your head's gone.
Yeah.
Her head's back.
She can actually hear you because I actually have it in my earpiece
okay.
right now, whatever. So this is Maddie. Maddie is my 6-year-old. She is in 1st grade, and she's been in full-time school since August 25th, and she's really been enjoying it. She didn't have a very good kindergarten year, of course, last year because of many reasons, but mostly because, during the pandemic, she was stuck online doing online learning. So we really found a local charter school called Sycamore that was open, and she was able to go full-time. And she's very, very happy to be in full-time school.
That's great. I'm so glad she's happy and she got to be full-time. And I also know you have a child that's not in full-time. So as we jump around, Kevin, Angela, and of course, Ilana is used to this. And Jonah, of course, is used to this. Listen, I have ADD. It's common that parents and kids have similar things. I think it's very obvious that I have ADD as a watcher of my podcast. And I think it helps in some ways to keep the podcast rolling. And Jonah also is facing, he has made amazing improvements, but I think the IEP system could have done a lot more to help Jonah rather than just saying and relying on medications or whatever else. I think they could do more. Jonah wants to say something about ADD. Jump in, please.
So a lot of people think ADD is this bad thing that like makes it so you can't focus and like it's hard to focus. And like I recently realized like I've had like a lot of hobbies, and I recently realized that has to do with my ADHD. Like I was really into Rubik's cubes, so I learned how to solve a bunch of Rubik's cubes. And like when you have ADHD and you like start like a hobby, like you really like just like take the hobby to the max and you just keep going and going and going until you like either like have like everything that has to do with that hobby, or you're just really good at that hobby, or you just move on. But like that's why like I've spent I saved up so much money so I can like have like these things. Like I was really into like camping and outdoors, so I saved up for that. And like when you have AD and like you find something, like people tell you like, oh, you can buy this with your money. Like no, we want to save up for that.
Wow, that's great. And that actually has been one of the great things. And Jonah, you may not know this, but people who have hobbies live a lot longer. So, and Jonah loves life. So which is another interesting thing as we talk about, some kids are depressed during quarantine and some kids that are a little bit more outgoing. Jonah happens to be an outgoing child. So for him, he found a way to stay connected to his friends. Also in our neighborhood, he's 13. So for the first year, we let the kids ride bikes. Yeah, he wants to talk. Jump in, Jonah.
So like in the summer, the first time it happened, so like in the beginning of the summer, I was just like locked in my room just playing video games, which it wasn't like the worst. It was pretty fun, but like like until the summer, I didn't see any of my friends except for my bar mitzvah. But then and this was before my bar mitzvah.
What you want to just briefly say, did you like your Zoom bar mitzvah? Was it hard to do it?
It was fun for the most part because most of my good friends came, and like not at least they came. Like there's some people that I wish would have come, but they came online, so and that's better. But so back to the summer. So
oh wait, let me just say something about that. When I talk about kids being robbed of things, one of the things I do want to say, it's not just their public school or their private school, but it's also their cultural education, their religious education. He had to learn his bar mitzvah piece all on Zoom with a rabbi. So
on the phone
and on. So he didn't get that feeling that you have when you're with whether or not it's
only
your
for like a month.
rabbi, your priest, your minister, so he became a man basically on a telephone conversation. And most religions are very physical. And so that was another area that this quarantine has robbed him. And I'm going to let him go back because he has some things that he wants to say. And Angela, will you give us a 5 to 10 minute warning? Because I'd love your girls to come back. We have all the kids, if Kevin's comes back too, on the camera at one moment for us, one picture maybe. But
One, I think, went to bed. The other one,
great.
The little one.
We'll have a family show another time where at least we'll get a picture, a 5-minute show.
Yes.
Jonah has more to say right now. And then you're going to give us a 5-10 minute warning when you have to get off.
Sure.
Okay, Jonah, take it away.
Okay, so it was like the summer and I was just playing video games, and then like my friend is I had these friends that I knew they lived near, like in my neighborhood. I had like 2 main friends that lived in my neighborhood. And one time I was just in my room, I was playing video games, or I was doing something. I think I was like on the tablet in my bed. I was doing something in my room, and out of nowhere I hear someone call my name outside, and I was like, what's this? And I look outside my window and it's my friends and they have bikes, and I was like, what's going on? And they were like, let's go to Starbucks. And then I was like, okay. And I tried finding my mom and I couldn't find her. And this was like, because I already knew I wanted to do this like earlier, but like I didn't really get permission.
Wait, I gotta make a joke about this. He couldn't find his mom. Okay, folks, we do not live in a mansion. We have a dog though, and I tend to go out and walk the dog.
Yeah.
So he couldn't find me in our mansion. Okay, take it away.
Yes. So then I left a note on the door telling my mom exactly what happened. And then so then I went down with my friends and we went around the city, and it was super fun. And then like from then on, I started seeing my friends. We said like the whole summer we were going on bikes, we were going to each other's houses and each other's pools. And it was just like, it was so fun because I wasn't in my like room playing video games every day. And I woke up early, like, cause like in the beginning of the summer, I was also like sleeping all day till like 2 p.m. and then waking up, eating, and then going back to sleep. But then like I started waking up at like 10, calling my friends saying, can I come to your house? And I would spend the whole day at their house. It was like,
so they would do like a lot of outdoor pool stuff. And so that was good. And then bikes, they all got into bike riding together. So they did a lot of outdoor activities. So there are some positive things that come from,
and like
this age.
Because of the corona, like most of those people that I was going on the bikes with, they would have been in Israel. So I would have just, but like because of corona, they had to stay, and like we got to go on bikes a lot.
Okay.
So
those are the positives.
I have a question, sorry. I have a question. Jonah, if I may, what do you see yourself when you're going back to school, the physical school? What do you envision? Like, what would be the best school ever for you?
Just how it was before, like, because like what's gonna happen when we go back, it's like it's not gonna be like the worst, because like some schools they have plexiglass around, but like it's still like we're gonna have to wear masks, and we're gonna have to be 6 feet apart. But it is what it is. Like I would like it like if it was like we can like sit next to our friends, have desk partners, and because that was like always fun, like having your desk partner and like doing work with them and like having buddies and stuff. But like we're gonna have to be 6 feet apart. But I think the teacher, like I talked to the teacher about this, and the teacher said that she knows that like people, there's some people that haven't seen each other for a long time. Like my best friend, I haven't seen him the whole corona. So like I'm gonna see him and I'm gonna give him a high five. And like the teacher said, yes, I know that's gonna happen. Just like because the first day back, she said that's fine. Just don't do it every day. And like I know on the first day it's gonna happen, but like on the second day you can maybe give him like an elbow five or something. But
So Alana, what I'm noticing when Jonah talks is a lot of what he talks about, which is really what happens with tween, preteens, and teens. It's all about their friends.
Right.
As
Absolutely.
long as they're being able to have contact with their friends as they get older, they're happy. And when you restrict friend time when they're back into regular school, then they start to get upset with school and get in trouble. So one of the things Jonah's noticing as a very talkative child and a child that like he was like the class clown is he got frustrated about the fact that his mom would get upset that she would get called every single day practically, or he'd go to the office a lot, right?
well, because we had a teacher and like
Okay, wait, we're
I wanna
not
tell
going to go into
him.
all your stories because this is a special education.
Okay,
So
well, I want to tell him.
can we have you back another time and we won't pay you?
I just tell them.
Okay, tell them, and then we're gonna
Okay,
kind of go
so
to
half the
special ed.
time, like I didn't really get sent to the office because like it was kind of like quarantine Zoom, like except we didn't learn anything. Like so we had a teacher that we really liked in the beginning of the year, and then she left, so we had subs for like 6 months, and then and we lost like everyone in the class was like crazy, including me. And then we got this super strict teacher, and even though like office lady, like when I did get sent to the office, she would send me right back because it was like one time I got sent to the office for laughing at like a book cover.
Okay, so let's we're gonna pause on that story. So what I want to say is, hey, kids are kids. Part of the problem with education and is that if you're outside the box, they don't know how to deal with it. And or if you're on the spectrum. And that's why we have our IEPs, and so I want to kind of jump back into with letting our experts, and they may ask you some more questions, Jonah, but Angela's not going to be with us that long. And I'm so glad you wanted to share so much. So we're probably gonna have another show where we actually let the kids do a lot more of the talking because he's liking this. Angela and Kevin, I'm gonna kind of leave it to you two now. And Ilana, if you had any more questions for Angela, I know you wanted to know like how she got her start or what, and you started to tell us, Angela.
I have one more question. And Angela, again, I'm really, really grateful you are with us in the show, and you know you are a great source to everyone who's watching. And so for our, I wanted to know is why, what motivated for you to say yes to come and join our show? Like, why are you with us in the show?
I love to be able to help. I've always had that personality, and I've seen what great work that Greg has done, trying to get kids back to school, and I've definitely.
Angela, can you say who Greg is? And
oh, my husband, Greg Thomas.
People don't know that are just tuning into this episode. So Greg,
oh, okay.
What he founded along with Rob.
Oh, I forget the official name for it because so many, he's in charge of so many things. I keep Massachusetts schools open. So that's what he founded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greg Harris and Rob Volpe. Rob Volpe and his wife started.
Greg Thomas and Rob and Caitlin Volpe. Yep.
Caitlin, in fact, what I heard on the last show is Caitlin started it with Rob. Yep. Then they hooked up with your husband and you, and you're correct. Like two power couples in the world of keep schools open. So kudos to you. We should only be so lucky in California that we get some people like you, and we've got Kevin And I mean, we are lucky. We've got Kevin. I didn't mean we should only be. I mean, when I say we should only be so lucky, I wish I knew a Los Angeles person that was a superstar, to be honest, Kevin. I mean, I don't know any. You'll have to tell me if there are any, and then we'll get them going. But I think Los Angeles parents have been kind of complacent, and the weather is good, and the kids are pretty skilled at their computers, and they're doing their thing. And I think we haven't heard a lot about it. So, and
But we haven't heard the kids. We, you know, the parents are, you know, once we hear the kids, we know how is it going, you know, basically.
right. Okay. So Angela, you were telling us, Greg, your husband,
Mhm.
and you helped start Reopen Massachusetts.
Yeah, he pretty much spearheaded that with the Volpes, and I took on the lead for heading up Special Ed Parent Advisory Council. So I've actually been working more closely with administration and in actually reaching out to the principals. And I've actually been collaborating because Leominster is a pretty diverse city. I mean, there's only 40,000 people, but we have a huge language barrier. So I've really been trying to collaborate with the English Learning Parent Advisory Council, which is called the LPAC, to make sure that we have a great working relationship to make sure that the kids that don't, or families that don't speak English still have the same ability to access resources that English, learning students and families have, which has been challenging.
So, Angela, I know that we are running on time, and Alana said something, and I think it was actually accurate. We need 2 episodes of special education. So, question is, and then we can actually get them both out together. This is part 1, where you get to meet some of the most important players in special education. I can't say enough of Kevin in California. Thank you so much. We're gonna want to know more about that. Kevin, in the end of April, we're gonna have a California Reopened Schools program on Thursday, and at the same time, it'll be at 4:00. Kevin, I have a feeling we're gonna coordinate with you and Angela for another episode for special education, so we could continue. Is there anything you want to say, Kevin, right now, before we sign off of this episode? Because I didn't expect Jonah to want to talk so much.
He did a great job, and I really appreciate it.
Good, Jonah.
I think the big thing is just trying to get, kids as much involved with this and really listening to our kids and understanding where they are. And I think what a lot of parents are doing is just kind of letting them be in their room by themselves with the Zoom and the saying, hey, how's school going? And they're like, fine. And then that's the end of it. They're not really looking at what's going on. In the special education community, it's a lot harder because you do have to have a parent pretty much next to them the entire time, unless they're doing one-on-one with like an aide or one of the services and stuff like that. Then you can kind of leave them alone, but you still have to go check on them because a lot of times they'll just check out or just like leave them run off, right? And so it becomes a full-time duty for whoever's there. And if you're lucky and you have people to help out, then you're really lucky. But unfortunately, not every parent has that. So really, special education really needs to be open for many reasons.
Exactly. And I want to reiterate that. And one of the things you'll notice about Jonah is he's very, very high functioning socially and verbally. And he's a smart guy. However, kids like Jonah need a lot, like even now, he's frustrated that his teacher keeps emailing me during Zoom because it goes off camera. So even the kids that are socially high functioning, ADD wise, they're off their camera all the time. So I really appreciate, Kevin, your push to try to get our special education on campus. And what we're going to say is Jonah is going to be starting hybrid on April what? 12th. April 12th. And Kevin, if you and Angela could want to interview Jonah again, because his special education is going to still be Zoom.
I just want to say something, Shari. Jonah, I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, I understand that that would mean that hybrid, that you would be in classroom with a computer and on a computer, not really interacting with the teacher, but interacting with the computer?
No,
Yeah.
the teacher's going to be teaching
No,
him.
Jonas, yeah.
No, this is what's gonna happen. So in class, we're gonna have like we have to, so like every day we have to bring home our school computers and charge them, and then we have to bring them, like if they're not charged, we're gonna have to like go home and then us like and do it online. But like so what's gonna happen is like we're gonna get to school and like we each get our own drop off time, and when we get to class, like inside of the classroom, we're gonna have our computers, but the teacher, she has like this whiteboard thing that she's gonna teach us on, and like if we have questions, we can ask her. But like most of like only like for like English, we have to do it like it's gonna basically be the same thing. But even like it's gonna basically be the same thing even when we were in class, because when we were in school, we were still using the computer to do ELA. But like
Okay, so
Yeah.
so I'm going to jump right now because we're going off on tangents of just Zoom, and this we're really dedicating this to special ed. And Jonah has so much to say, and Ilana has so many questions, and so about the Zoom, because Alana's kids are older and they're not in Zoom. Jonah, if you can come over here to the camera, because we're going to be saying goodbye pretty soon. So what I want to say is, we have more to tell you about what's happening. We have our expert. I called him an expert. He said, I'm an expert. I said, yes, because you go to school. We have our expert that will be back again when he's back in school. Why don't we do our special education episode after he's back in school? And that is just in about 2 weeks. Correct?
Yes.
On Thursday, Angela and Kevin, we're going to try to book you both for Thursday after Jonas starts that Monday.
Okay.
All right? Is that a date? Is that a podcast date? If you can't come, you can always cancel.
What's the date? The 15th?
Sounds good. Jonah?
Yeah.
The 12th. No, 12th. Jonah, is that a date?
Sure.
Okay, do we have to pay you?
Yes.
Okay, look up at the camera. Okay, he is our first paid consultant, and so he's going to get souvenir money for his trip to Florida. We're in Florida now, so we want to say, I always want to say aloha every time I see Angela. But first of all, I'm just going to say, as we wrap up this podcast for now, we hope that Kevin's house is not flooded.
Why? Why was that?
Well, that's another episode. I can't tell you right now. We hope that Angela's children went to bed. We hope that Ilana's family has been fed. And we're going to try to catch a dinner reservation in Florida. If we get moving fast, they might still take us. So from Florida, from ABCShrink, from Jonah and Dr. Chevy, from co-producer Ilana Weinstein, from Massachusetts, Angela, and Kevin and Chino, we are saying, please come back again for episode 2. Please share this. It's very important for people to understand how there are advocates out there for special education. And we honor you guys. You are champions. Just because we don't sing to you, you are the champion, we are the champion, doesn't mean you guys are not awesome. And as I said before, I think these 2 shows are among the most important reopened shows we're going to go, because we need to be a voice for these kids. So up at the camera, we're going to say goodbye now. And
Bye, guys.
all right,
Thank
bye,
you.
guys. Adios. And
Bye.
we'll see you again, special education on the 15th. Okay, bye-bye.